Okay, my free-to-play players, my little dolphins, my cheap players, and even the small budget players that don't want to spend that much money, kind of like me. So, this game is kind of a gacha game, of course. It's not that gacha intensive. You can actually play the whole game without really spending money. The weapons that we should focus on, in my opinion, that are really going to help us in the long run are the prototype weapons. Now, the prototype weapons I think are underappreciated and I think are going to be very good for most of us free-to-play players that can't pull 5 stars and that don't have that luxury. So the reason why prototype weapons are good is that we can, this thing called refining, right? Where you get duplicate weapons and every time you refine it, the stats on the weapon are just going to get better and better. Now we will eventually, the longer this game is out, I believe you should be able to max refine a weapon. Now the only ways to get weapon drops right now is from the wolf and the dragon. I know they're RNG and it's kind of unfortunate if you don't get the the prototype, the blank prototype that you want. It might take a bit longer for you to get what you really want, but in the long run you should be able to eventually get 5 of each prototype the longer this game is out. So we'll go over the different prototype weapons in the shop. We'll start from, I guess, the 2 swords. Now there's the prototype Rancor and the Iron Sting. They're both actually really good swords. So in my opinion, it really just depends on who you have. I would recommend the Iron Sting if you have a DPS sword user that wants elemental damage. This really works well on, I think, every sword user in the game. When it comes to the bow, the prototype Crescent, it's for aim shots. I don't think aim shots are that good right now. They were good in closed beta from what I've heard, but I don't think aim shot builds are that strong right now. So the compound bow is actually pretty nuts. And if you don't have a good bow for Fischl and you're using Fischl as your main DPS, I think this weapon is actually insane. If your Fischl is supporting and only throwing out the crow, then this isn't going to help. This is for bow users that are always on the field auto attacking a lot, because the attack speed increases a lot and you can get off a lot of autos. So the compound bow is worth investing into if you have a unit like that. Okay, so when it comes to the polearms, I personally don't think either of these polearms are that good. The prototype Grudge is for elemental users. This is what I'm currently using on Xiangling. It's not bad, she's gonna use her bear and you're gonna have charged attacks. It's not too bad. The Crescent Pike is more of a slower, not bursty build. You have to pick up the orbs and you'll get an empowered attack after it. I personally don't think either of these are too good yet. I haven't really tested out either of them that much except for the Grudge. We're gonna see how they pan out though in the long term. So now there's the prototype Aminus and the White Blind. I personally think the prototype Aminus is the best prototype weapon. This is great for Claymore users, the great sword players, the 2-handed sword units, whatever. This weapon is what I'm currently hoping to max refine immediately, or as fast as I possibly can. It does an insane amount of extra AoE damage. Now the AoE range isn't that big that I've noticed, but just having that extra burst damage on whoever you're attacking can kick in here and there and you can literally nuke enemies. And this is, just pure attack. It's universally good on every single Claymore user. Now the White Blind, it's a lot more situational. It has defensive stats, so I really can only see this being used on Noelle because Noelle scales well with defense. Yeah, this isn't bad on Noelle because you want to be on the field with Noelle and get off a lot of auto attacks to start healing. So Noelle with the White Blind would actually be kind of nice because you can get stacks. So if you do get to that point of the game where you can get a bunch of these, you can build both. But I would recommend the prototype Aminus because it has flexibility and it can be used on several units. But if Noelle is your queen and you only religiously use her, go ahead and buy the White Blind, invest into this. So for the catalyst, I think the prototype Malice is the better one between the two. This is more of a support item, so Barbara can really pop off with the prototype Malice. She can use her abilities and everyone will regen over time, so it's pretty helpful. You can still build the Mappa Mare. It isn't too bad if you do have, you know, Lisa or I guess Mona popping off with this. You can get some bonus damage off with it. So it really depends on what you want. This is the supportive style, this is the DPS style. Depending on your team comp, which one you need out of the two, you can just go ahead and build it. I don't have any good mage units that can use this catalyst. That's why I'm building this for Barbara. It really depends on who you have. Places where you can get it is the main store in Mondstadt, as well as this jewelry store in Liu. And you can actually buy one of each, except the sword. That one is sold in Mondstadt. You get one of each catalyst for free so far. That's not that bad. And you have to pray to your RNG that you get the rest of the catalysts from the boss fights. Now, the longer this game is out, the more weeks you'll have, the more time you'll be able to pour into these fights. I think you will eventually be able to get 5 of each prototype, and you'll have the max refined weapon. Now the weapon, when the weapon is max refined, it's gonna be insane, especially this prototype of Minas. I already have it at refined 2. I got one from a lucky drop, I guess, maybe from a quest, and then I got one from the shop. Just like any other weapon, refinement, getting dupes is actually really strong. I think if you max refine it, it can probably do comparable damage to a 5-star Claymore, a 5-star weapon. It can keep up with it. Obviously, if the 5-star weapon gets dupes on its own, it's gonna outclass this weapon. Even, for example, Barbara, I'm still using this 3-star weapon. I believe it's a 3-star weapon. Because it's max refined, its skill is actually pretty good as a supportive item. You know, duplicates are they just run this game. Dupes are very powerful, especially if you get constellation dupes and dupes of the character. But even dupes of weapon, you know, go a long way, and it's definitely worth it because prototypes you will eventually get dupes. So yeah, all you really need to do is farm the ores, which are all over the world. You know, you can find them literally anywhere. You know, the resources you need, it's only 500 more as well, and you can just find these anywhere, as well as make your expeditions at the adventure guild. You know, go out and look for these. So you will eventually get the resources. It's not that bad. It is a great tool for free-to-play players to have a very strong weapon, especially the Claymore. Also, in case you didn't know, which some people don't realize, you can dispatch characters on expeditions. You can also set the timer. It goes 4, 8, 12 to 20. Now the initial 4 hours does not drop crystal chunks. If you bump it up to 20 hours, you actually get a lot of crystal chunks and some white iron chunks. Just in case you didn't know that. I know some of my friends didn't know, so I had to let them know. But yeah, it really makes a difference. It'll really help you out. It'll help you prepare for the next prototype weapon that you get, because you can like instantly make it when you find it. So yeah, I hope I helped you guys out, my free-to-play players. Let's grind and get these prototype weapons up. We'll get the job done. We'll be chilling. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to know about. We'll go in depth and try to talk about it. I'll try to learn about it if I don't really understand it. And let's figure this out. Let's enjoy this game while it's out. Peace.